Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is August 18, 2021. Finally, we are seeing some downside price action. So is this the beginning of the correction or the pullback that we've been long waited for? In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the live price action before the FOMC meeting minute is released and after the minute was released. And then we take a look at the after the bell closing price action for the indexes and also the market sentiment and the internal, and see what we should be on the lookout for in the coming days. So stay tuned. Let's look at this 30-minute intraday chart for the S&P 500 cash index. You can see we have a little bit of a price zone here. Essentially, we're looking at this as a more of a resistance zone and or a supply zone. And you could see that it came up and sold off, came down, and then we saw a little bit of a support area here that we're looking for potential support. And as you can see, it also moved down as we get close to the end of the trading session. So right now, we're essentially targeting down at this level here between the 42.85 and possibly 70-ish level here in this zone. So in the coming day, we could see price come down and test this zone and see where we get a bounce back up. Now let's go and take a look at the live price action that I recorded earlier. That was before the FOMC minute and also after the FOMC minute release. Okay, let's take a look at the midday update here on the S&P 500. See, S&P 500 is down a little bit under 9 points, 4.2%. We have two new 52-week high, two more new 52-week high and 52-week low. Up-down volume ratio is positive 1.32 times more of volume than down volume. And the VIX is sitting at 18.15. Put call ratio at 0.52. And there are 332 more declining issues than advancing issues. And switching over to the ES, the E-mini S&P 500 future, looking at the profile chart, you see so far we essentially trading inside the IB range and hasn't done anything yet other than tagging yesterday's point of control. So maybe when the FOMC meeting comes out in about another hour, 25 minutes, we will see maybe a run at filling the single prints or coming down to that's for low. Right now, we're essentially sitting inside of the IB range. And also looking at the volume profile right now, notice that it basically is a range day or a balanced day right now, profile shape. Okay, we're less than 15 seconds until the FOMC meeting come out. Let's monitor the ES, the E-mini S&P 500 futures, and see what the price action going to be. We are not seeing much of an initial reaction coming up to the rewrap right now. So we'll see what it come up and take out the IB high or come down and take out the IB low. Let's go take a look at the S&P 500. It's coming up a little bit. Not much have changed here on the put call ratio. Yeah, so far it seems like a little bit of a mute reaction. All right, I'm gonna come back later when there are a little bit more price action. Now, it appears that it's trying to move up here right now. And here, looking at the S&P 500, it is moving up. Notice the advanced decline turned positive, positive 39. Up-down volume ratio has been running positive most of the session except the initial open. All right, I'm just going to pause here and then just take a look at it later on. Okay, we are seeing some reaction here on the downside. Took out the IP low now, so we're going to see what it come down to this poor low. Remember from my tweet on Twitter, was saying that if it's chopping around below, then we could come down to the poor low, or come up and take out these single prints. So right now we're basically watching to see what it come down and take out this poor low here. And here you see SP500 is coming down pretty dramatically. Remember prior to that, earlier we were watching it come up here. Got a little push. So the VIX is sitting at 18.36 now. And we have negative 80 right now, went back to negative. So they are more decliner than advancers. And also the VIX is coming up a bit, sitting at 18.37. Put call ratio is still okay. It's not not bunch of put buying pushing it up yet. And here are the internals. So the up down volume ratio is still 1.49 positive, but it is coming down the up down volume. So we are seeing some massive negative tick here, minus 1,000. Some big sell program came in. My cumulative tick is negative in the NYSE, but positive in the Nasdaq. I'm going to pause it here for a while. I got about 35 minutes until the closing bell. As you can see, we got this little chop here, right here on this chop. Right after the minute got released, and here gonna look to see would it get down to this poor low and even possibly come down and pin this at 4,400. Now here's a tweak that I put out last night, somewhere around 8:24 Pacific time, and I said here that the we're basically looking for the single print to get filled. If the price was chopping down here, then we expect to maybe get a reaction on the upside when the FOMC meeting comes out. And then we, if it's chopping up here, then we expect it to come down and take out this poor low. So here's what it's doing right now. As you can see, we took out that poor low right now. Right, here's that. So right now I'm even looking at the possibility of might flush down to this point of control at 4,400 before the close. We have about 25 minutes before the close. Right, today is OPEX Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, we're just at the closing bell. As you can see right now on the E-mini, the ES took out this poor low, attacked this point of control. Looks like the next target is down here, 43.83 and a quarter. Okay, so we got some single print here left behind today. So we could see the single print get tagged in the coming days. Right, we are seeing a little bit of a poor low here on the volume profile. Okay, that was some of the live price action before and after the FOMC minute release. Now let's go and take a look at the closing price actions and the market internals and the sentiment. Let's start with the ETF for the S&P 500, the SPY. Remember, we're talking about this particular zone here, right? This balance area. And we're saying that if it come back into this balance area, then we're basically looking for it to potentially retrace back down to the other side of this balance area, which would be somewhere around 436. So today it finally came in. And also the other thing is, got to be careful though. We saw the point of control, this composite point of control shifted up. So we need to see in the coming day, will this shift back down? Otherwise, this could, come down and get a nice snapback and move out of this balance area that we've been watching. Essentially this area here, right? It could move back out and take out this point of control and come in and fill this gap and put in a new all-time high. That's a possibility. There is a possibility that we could see higher, but essentially back in this area here, right? Because we have some single print that is left, unfilled on the E-mini S&P 500. So that kind of give us a clue that eventually we will see the price come back up in this area. And here looking at the QQQ, the ETF for the Nasdaq 100, remember we're looking at this particular balance area here, right? So right now it seems like this is coming down here. So keep an eye on this level here, 361 area, right? 361.50 area to see will we get a bounce here inside of this zone. If it doesn't bounce, then we're essentially looking for this zone down here at 355, right? So again, if we move this over and we could see, right, this point of control, this is the larger point of control composite. That point of control have shifted down. So as you can see, this huge composite, the point of control have shifted down to around 365.30, while this point of control still sitting at 368. So for the coming day, just watch this zone here. When it come down, see will we get a bounce back up to possibly move back up to test this point of control here, somewhere around this 365.50, 365.40 area. Okay, or it will break down and come down to this 355. Now let's look at the index, the cash index itself. Here's the S&P 500. See that it came into this balance area now. Right, once again, we're essentially looking for this thing to trace back to this area, this 161.4378 area. You know, if it bounce back up, watch this level here, this 44.29, 44.30. You see, will it try to get back out of this balance area? If it does, then we're basically looking for this thing to move higher. So that's the key. So watch this if it come up to see what the price action is. But for the coming day, I expect to see a little bit of a continuation and possibly move it down toward this 43.78. And the Nasdaq 100, see the Nasdaq 100 came down to this 141 extension at 14,850 area. So we're going to see, would it be a continuation to come down? Remember, we're talking about this confluence, this trend line, and the 127 extension here, 14,584. So keep an eye on this this area here on the downside. But if it come up, then essentially we're basically looking for this all-time high. All right, but for right now, we're essentially looking for to see what we get a continuation on the downside. And here's the Russell 2000. Remember, we're basically was looking for the possibility for this thing to come up to take out the reclaim the 2297, and it's been holding this trend line support for a while, and it finally broke down on Monday, and as you can see today or yesterday, it broke below this 2195. So right now we're basically looking to see would it be able to hold the support of these low. If it doesn't, then we're essentially looking for this thing to come down to this 2075 area. So the key level to watch is somewhere around 2132 area, basically these low and this balance area. So once again, it came down, balance, and we're basically saying that we're looking for this thing to come down to the bottom of this balance area and see would it get a bounce back up. And if it doesn't, if it breaks, then we're basically looking at 2075 and possibly 1935 afterward, if it can't find support here, 2075. And for the Dow Jones Transportation, came close on Monday on reclaiming that 15,000 area, but it did not, take out the 15,000 and then come back down now. So we'll see would it be able to make another attempt to reclaim the 15,000. If it's not, if it continue to come down, then look for this 14,000 to 42. Basically, these low, look for potential retest. And here's the Dow Jones Industrial. The Dow Jones Industrial also coming back in to this balance area here. So once again, we're essentially looking for this thing to come down and we trace back down to this lower area here, somewhere around 33,800. Right? Essentially, this is like a look above and fail. So we expect to look for a retracement back down unless it could pop back out, do something like this. But if it continue to come down, then we are looking for these low to be get tested. Now let's take a look at the sentiment and the internals. The sentiment is sitting at 21.48, so it's inside of this 20 and 30 zone. Definitely the fear had come back into the market. And the put call ratio is still remarkably sitting underneath the 0.75. It closed at 0.61. So we'll see, will the coming day will push this put call ratio up above this 0.75, and the VIX move toward the 30 level. And looking at the up-down volume ratio in the New York Stock Exchange, is 2.38, more down volume than up volume today. The advanced decline, there were 1,495 more declining issues than advancing issues. And for the NYSE new high, new low, there were 8 more new 52-week low than new 52-week high. And 73 new high, 81 new low. And here, as you can see, the AD line is rolling over. So the S&P 500 cash index is also coming down. So right now, it would look like it might take out this pivot low here. So we expect to see further downside on the S&P 500 if the AD line continue to move downward. And here, looking at the Nasdaq 100, the Nasdaq 100 is down a little bit under 145 point, or 0.97%. The up-down volume ratio is remarkably pretty neutral. It's only 1.006, so it's pretty much even between the up and down, the up volume and the down volume. But the advance, well, they declined by 809. So still, that is not too bad for a day that the Nasdaq 100 is down almost 145 points. Now, then the ugliness start here, right? The net new high, new low, there were 96 more new 52-week low than 52-week high. It was only 66 new high today in the Nasdaq market versus 162. Now, although that is high, but it's not as high as yesterday. Yesterday, we saw 341 new 52-week low. And it get uglier here on the cumulative AD line, right? So now it's essentially taking out all these lows the last 6 months or so. And you can see that the Nasdaq 100 is still above this pivot low here. And you notice that the AD line is already, further down, further below this pivot low here. So we finally got a little bit of a pullback today after the FOMC minute came out. And the market participants are getting a little bit fearful now, but it doesn't show too much on the risk-off side yet. On the put-call ratio is still in the little bit of a, still risk-on, a little bit, maybe with a little bit of a caution. But definitely the VIX is telling us market participants are getting a bit fearful. Here's the heat map for the S&P 500. You can see it is not that much green. Tesla got a strong day today. Lowe's, I believe, Lowe's recorded earning. But look at all these, Apple, Google, Microsoft, all the large cap, even the healthcare, right? The healthcare sector is also pretty much red throughout the day. So not too much green on this heat map here on the for the S&P 500. Not that good. Looking heat map on the Nasdaq 100 also. So there you have it. A little quick look on the midweek. So for the SPY, if you're trading SPY, watch this 437.75 area, and then the 436 on the downside. And if it come back up, then basically watch this this level here, this point of control, 442.50 and then 444.50. All right, good luck, and be sure to smash that thumbs up to help me promote and share this video. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.